It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America, we are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. All right, you ready for a rock and roll update?
Yeah.
This is such a great story. I love this. Are you ready for this news release from the Steve Miller Band?
Okay.
Now, I know you're saying, come on, guys, why are you talking rock and roll or old rock and roll? There's a point, and you want to hear it.
Yeah.
Here's the letter to their fans. Dear Steve Miller Band fans, you make music with your instincts. You live life by your instincts. Always trust your instincts. The Steve Miller Band has canceled all of our upcoming tour dates. The combination of extreme heat, unpredictable flooding, tornadoes, hurricanes, massive forest fires make these risks for you, our audience, the band, and our crew unacceptable. So you can blame it on the weather. The tour is canceled.
Somebody's not selling tickets.
Don't know where, don't know when. We hope to see you all again. Wishing you peace, love, and happiness. Please take care of each other. Steve, the band, and the crew.
Okay.
What a load of horse manure.
It's garbage. Yeah, somebody's not selling tickets.
Oh, my gosh. This is fantastic. I love it. We're going to blame climate change.
Right. You know, the heat. I'm sorry, your tour planner knew that things get hot in the U.S. during the summer.
I mean, and I think it was Variety. Is it Variety? The way they're covering it. Oh, let me just find it, though, because it just, let me see if I can find the Variety thing here.
Steve Miller Band cancels all tour dates due to recent weather disasters.
Yeah, here it is. The Steve Miller Band has canceled all dates for its 2025 North American tour due to the general trend of climate change-induced weather disasters. My God,
yeah, you're not selling tickets. If you were sold out on that tour, you wouldn't be canceling.
Oh, just great.
That's really lame. That's about as lame as it gets.
The Gateway pundit, beyond parody. The Steve Miller Band cancels all remaining tour dates due to climate change.
Yeah.
As Eric said, they are apparently not selling tickets to the shows.
Of course they're not. Yeah, I love it. I love the statement on their official X page, as you just read. Dear Steve Miller Band fans. You might want to eliminate the S. Dear Steve Miller Band fan. If they were selling out venues, even if you don't sell out every venue, but if you're selling out, if you're doing robust ticket sales, you're going to go. And if it's health related, you would also put that. I mean, he's what? Got to be 150.
And he was a joker, a smoker, and a midnight toker.
Right. That's got to take its toll.
Exactly.
Exactly. As you pointed out during the top of the hour break.
He's
saying about the big old jet airliner.
This is a guy in X who claimed he booked him in a venue.
Yeah.
This is a booker. I said a booker.
Yeah.
I was surprised by the size of the larger venue that Steve Miller Band was booked to play by me. Assuming similar sizing issues across the USA, I've got $5 that says they simply weren't doing the sales that they had hoped.
Okay, I had not seen that part of the story, but it's clear that's what was going on. When you come up with something lame like that, if you say, look, Steve or somebody else in the band is dealing with some health issues, we're going to get back to the road as soon as we can, and when Ann Wilson got sick, everybody understood, okay, well, that happens. When you say, because of climate change, we're canceling everything, it's not climate change.
The Daily Beast, just where they put it. The Steve Miller Band have canceled their entire U.S. tour a month before it was due to start, citing, quote, instinct, end of quote, over extreme weather events potentially impacting on travel, audience experience, and concert production.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, my God. This is the best one. Are you ready for this? Somebody posted this. A wise and compassionate move. Flood and fire victims shouldn't also have to hear the Steve Miller Band. They've suffered enough.
Oh. Ouch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's just a lame excuse.
Oh, my. I mean, we can't get out of this. We can't embarrass ourselves by saying we're not selling tickets. Wow. We can virtue signal on climate change.
Yes.
And the thing is, this guy trying to virtue signal on climate change, one of his biggest hits was talking about being on a jet airliner.
A big old jet airliner.
A big old jet airliner to become a huge, rich success in rock and roll.
Yeah. That's just lame.
That's why I said it was a good story. I know everybody said, well,
but what do you do if ticket sales are,
you do what some bands have done. The ticket sales just have not been good enough, and we're canceling. Like, try honesty.
You guys don't love me anymore. We quit.
Right. Or you can be bitter. Be bitter even.
Yeah.
I'll take I would enjoy the bitterness.
Well, at least it would be genuine.
I'm 157 years old, and you don't want to come see me play guitar?
Joker, toker, midnight smoker, anything?
And talk about being a toker, a midnight smoker, and all that other stuff?
Nothing, huh? Fine. Mr. Miller, the Senior Care Center has rules. You'll have to keep it down, please.
I think that only great blues artists should be able to tour in their 70s and 80s because they seem to always.
I would say there should be a minimum age for them.
Exactly.
With all due respect to Joe Bonamassa, who started very early, and he's incredibly talented. Really, you should be up there. He might agree.
Well, I remember seeing Muddy Waters at the beginning of his career, and he was 97.
Exactly.
At the beginning,
he picked up the guitar. In fact, it was the day before the Guitar Center was where he picked up the guitar. He just naturally, boom, became great. Yeah.
Is there, again, this is where we talk, is there no self-awareness? Nobody's going to buy this. No one.
I don't even know why you would put that out there. It's like, okay, we figured out we probably can't even fill one venue with all of the fans across the U.S., so we're going to do a virtual tour. It's called Spotify. Good luck. Yeah. I don't even know why you would. I don't even know why you would do that. Because the virtue signaling doesn't even work with environmentalists.
No.
First of all, environmentalists are going, Steve who? Who's that? And you're not. It's not. Not going anywhere.
One of the problems is...
Like the Steve Miller Band, it's not going anywhere.
Well, one of the problems is for the Steve Miller Band announcement, and it's become national news, all right?
Yeah.
How many people commented? 165
On their post.
Yep, on X. 163 liked the post.
Ooh, that's not good.
No, it's
In fact, that's bad.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Oh my gosh.
But the thing is, that's going to be conservatives are just going to have a ball with this today. They're absolutely going to go crazy over this one.
Well,
as we did.
Again, it's just.
Let me read the comments.
Yeah.
Let's see. First comment: blaming global warming. Pardon me, climate change for poor ticket sales, and the laughing emoji. Somebody writes, "I think this is very wise." Probably wrote this sitting at home with a mask on watching CNN. These are responses. Climate change, it's easier than saying, I'm old and can't hang on the road, I guess.
Exactly.
I'm old enough to remember when rockers had the B word for guts.
Yeah.
Woke climate nonsense when it's simply flat ticket sales. Oh, wow. I used to listen to his music in high school. I didn't know they were so effeminate now. Wait a minute. That's a misogynist viewpoint of women.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's just stupid.
Yes. Let me just see here.
Again, these were responses to their own post.
Yeah, I love this one. In the face of tragedy, people often turn to music for tranquility and salvation. Classic rock has always been such an outlet for many. Depriving your audience is like turning your back on a friend. Most of your shows are indoors. Weather? Or was it ticket sales? That's a great point. Most of your shows are indoors.
All right. Somebody in the comments section, and it's hard to verify, in fact, impossible to verify for me, posted a screenshot of, how when you go buy tickets, you have a map of the venue.
Yeah.
Shows you where the tickets are, which tickets are available.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And again, this is someone who posted this, but they were looking up apparently on their device for the August 24th, 7:30 p.m. show at the Northwell at Jones Beach Theater, wherever that is, and did a screenshot of it, and it looks like most of the seats are available. Yeah. I don't know if that's accurate. It's, in today's world, in the AI world. But they posted, there's your answer.
Yeah, most of the comments are not are not positive at all.
Yeah. No, they're not. It's just because it's lame.
I like this one.
It's lame.
This is pathetic. It might rain. We got to cancel the show.
Right. It might be hot in the summer. Yeah. It's just stupid. When you're horrible at being woke, it's time to quit. It's time to give it up.
Steve Miller, you're one of my favorite musicians. I got to tell you, this is a really dumb answer. Blame everything on the weather. Just crazy. You're canceling another one. You're canceling all tours because of nature. This is matter of fact dumb.
Yeah.
I love your songs, but this is beyond lame.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
It really is.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The vast majority are extremely critical.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
wow. But you got to find a way to virtue signal, right?
You have
in
to.
this day and age.
Yep. You have to.
I just wonder how much of the media is going to cover this and bring it. Look at the climate change. Look what climate change is doing.
It's getting so bad. No,
the Steve Miller Band.
How many of them, exactly, how many of them will try and use it? It's so bad. We have artists who have been around for decades who can't tour anymore. Shut up. Just shut up. This is how bad it is.
I think after the rescission has pulled back money from NPR and PBS, that it needs to go to the Steve Miller Band so they can tour. Because the Steve Miller Band is good, and federal funding must fund good things.
By the way, I am going to give up on my effort to become a multi-billionaire because of climate change. I'm a hero. That's how it works.
Eric and I this weekend, in fact, will be taking a climate change 3-day weekend.
We actually are taking a 3-day weekend.
I know.
Has nothing to do with climate change. I'm going to actually be out in the climate starting this morning. Our great friend Dan Mandis will be filling in on Sunday night, Monday morning. The Marconi Award-winning Dan Mandis.
If the weather allows it.
Oh, that's right. He might quit, too. He's not lame.
It's great.
Only Steve Miller is lame. By the way, the rest of the band, they're like, what? Steve? What? How many in the band didn't agree with that move?
All of them?
They could get paying gigs somewhere else.
Wow. 866-90 Red Eye.
This morning's USDA Farm Report is brought to you by House Products. Tested, trusted, guaranteed since 1920.
A handheld scanner to detect pathogens on food, utensils, and surfaces at processing facilities and other locations, increasing prevention of foodborne illness. That is the innovation of Moon Kim and colleagues at USDA's Agricultural Research Station in Beltsville, Maryland. His inspiration:
I was inspired by CSI. They use fluorescence-based technologies to inspect a crime scene. And then it just sort of a eureka moment. Well, I can make handheld devices to inspect food contact surfaces.
Part of the R&D phase for the scanner involved introduction of new tech.
In recent years, miniature AI chips became available, and our commercial partner and we joined ideas together and incorporated edge computing and run AI models to detect contaminant on food contact surfaces.
Kim adds the scanner improves inspection capability and can provide both greater efficiency and cost effectiveness. I'm Ron Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
This report brought to you by Cenex Fuels and Lubes.
We'll be right back with more Red Eye Radio with Eric Harley and Gary McNamara.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara at 2:30 a.m. This is what happened last night. Okay, let's start again. This happened at 2:30 last night.
This vote, the yeas are 51, the nays are 48, and on this vote, the bill is amended as passed.
So the rescission, the $9 billion, has been passed. I really think that, along with the Steve Miller story, and I'm looking at this here. Steve Miller says it's not safe to tour the earth right now. And with the funding now for PBS and NPR cut, those, I can see the liberal media just obsessing over those today.
Yeah.
How can they cut money for such a good thing as NPR and PBS, and then the whole thing, they're just going to ride with the whole Steve Miller thing? Then apparently Chrissy Hine from the Pretenders a couple of weeks ago, one of the articles said, I don't know how long you're going to outdoor concerts in the summer. It's just getting to be too hot. You did bring up a great point, though. You can't do the same thing. Remember you and I, what was the US Fest? Remember that?
Yeah, right.
In California. Remember they were using, it got so hot, they were using fire hoses on the crowd.
There is a liability issue now in recent years with having, especially standing room only outdoor concerts. And that's going to be a problem from here on out as long as lawyers are involved, and they are.
You're listening to Red Eye Radio from the Uniden America Studios.
And he is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Welcome and good morning. What's going on with Iran? Iran faces an August deadline to accept comprehensive nuclear deal or face renewed UN sanctions. Iran has until the end of August to agree to a nuclear deal with the United States and its allies. Fox News has learned Secretary of State Marco Rubio and the foreign ministers of France, Germany, and the United Kingdom set the de facto deadline, according to three sources with knowledge of a call Wednesday among officials. If they fail to agree to a deal, that would trigger the snapback mechanism that automatically reimposes all sanctions previously imposed by the United Nations Security Council. The sanctions were lifted under a 2015 Iran deal. The Trump administration has tried pressuring Iran to accept a deal to walk back its nuclear program after the U.S. and Israel strikes targeting nuclear sites. United Against Nuclear Iran, a nonprofit that opposes Iran's effort to develop a nuclear weapon, applauded the Wednesday news. Tehran has learned that for the Trump administration, a deadline means a deadline. That's true.
Yep.
After failing to agree to a deal within 60 days of diplomacy, the United States and Israel targeted military action against the regime in June. Consequently, Iran should take this new deadline seriously. On Monday, Iran said it would retaliate if the UN Security Council imposed the snapback sanctions. So there you go. And yesterday, Jill Biden's chief of staff pleads the fifth. Anthony Brunel, who served as the chief of staff for former First Lady Jill Biden, refused to answer questions regarding an alleged cover-up of former President Joe Biden's cognitive decline. Here is Brunel actually refusing to answer the questions in this audio cut.
Mr. Brunel, did you ever advise President Joe Biden to pardon his son, Hunter Biden?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Thank you. We're going to go off the record real quick.
There it was.
Yeah.
But, then they just, he wouldn't answer every single answer after that because they came back later and he just refused to answer it. Brunel, who has been nicknamed Jill Biden's work husband, pleaded the fifth during these closed-door testimony in front of the House Committee on Oversight and Governmental Reform. Representative James Comer revealed that Brunel had pleaded the fifth when asked whether the former president had ever instructed him to lie about his health or if any unelected official or family members executed the duties of the president. I saw Comer on Fox News later on, and he said, now it's more likely that they will call. If everybody gives the fifth, then they're going to bring Jill in. They may bring Joe in to answer questions. And then everybody takes the fifth, and then you start offering immunity from prosecution. You don't offer it to Brunel first, though.
No.
Remember, David Hogan, that undercover thing, said he was the one making decisions.
Right. Well, and it had been speculated for a while that it came down to Brunel. It came down to Jill Biden, Brunel, to some extent Hunter. You know, because remember, Hunter was hovering for a while. That was during his whole fiasco.
Well, and he seems to be taking the lead right now. I mean, we talked about Hunter Biden coming out and furious at the Democratic Party. Democratic Party, you betrayed Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Hunter says so. Democrats, come on, you got to support. Look, Democrats, you got to support Hunter Biden at least as much as you are Mamdani in New York City. Right?
I think so.
Come on. You know, you got to get out there and you got to say, Democrats, I want to hear you saying today, we need federal tax dollars for NPR, PBS, and Hunter Biden's crack pipes.
That's right.
Let's be out there. Be loud today on that one.
USCPA, United States Crack Pipe Aid.
New York City mayoral frontrunner Zohran Mamdani yesterday received a hero's welcome. This from the New York Post. From members of Congress, liberal members of Congress, including AOC and Senator Bernie Sanders, as he trekked down to Washington, D.C., in hopes of garnering more support from an array of Democrats. The 33-year-old socialist, he's not a socialist. He's a commie. Attended a breakfast event hosted by AOC. I wonder if the Democrats, because they had that last week, there was on social media. Well, the socialist, he's not a socialist, he's a communist. No, he's not a communist. Well, he's a communist sympathizer. Well, go, okay, that would make him a pinko then. And he's not a socialist pinko. He would be a socialist pinko communist.
Yeah.
Socialist, but supports communism, even though not being a communist himself.
Can you be a communist and also a sympathizer? That would make you a pinko commie, right?
If you're a communist sympathizer, aren't you a communist?
I would think so. I think for me, that's a good enough qualifier.
Yeah. I just hope to be able to get the word pinko in more often.
No, I think so. I think
that's what I would like to do before.
And like I said, with Taylor Swift, you have Swifties. With the artist Pink, are they called pinkos
or pinkies?
Maybe they might be.
It
could be.
Well, you know something. From now on Red Eye Radio, from my side over here, we'll talk about the pinkies.
The pinkies.
Mamdani support the pinkies.
The pinkies.
The pinkies will be his supporters.
Hold on. How long before you see AOC at a rally wearing a pink shirt? I'm one of the pinkies.
But no pink hats are allowed.
No
pink hats.
No. Yeah.
The event hosted by AOC at the AC Hotel in Navy Yard that was filled with mostly House Democrats, including Representative Jerry Nadler, who endorsed Mamdani after his shocking Democratic mayoral primary last month. Many of Congress's most ardent liberals were quick to get FaceTime with Mamdani and pose for photos. They were like, this guy's a 33-year-old communist. He could win the mayor of New York. We got to get our picture taken with him. Remember, they're on the federal level. This guy is just won a primary to be a mayor, and they all want their picture taken with him.
You can't miss a commie photo op.
It's exactly what we have said. The leaders of the Democratic Party, AOC, Jasmine Crockett, Mamdani. That's it.
Yep.
Commies.
That's right.
Yeah. The pinkies. Here it is. Had a great meeting with Mamdani, and I'm deeply impressed by the grassroots campaign he is running, said Bernie Sanders, who, by the way, spent I saw over $300,000 on private jet use to fight the oligarchy.
Yeah.
I had a great meeting with him. Quote, the oligarchs are prepared to undermine democracy and spend tens of millions to buy the election for his opponents. We will not allow that to happen. You know, it's been pointed out now many times that if the oligarchy is the billionaires, many more support the Democratic Party than the Republican.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Representative Jayapal said, Mamdani is an incredible talent. He's going to be a great mayor for New York City. I was proud to endorse him before the primary. Anybody that still listens to this may be the... no, okay, I don't think anything can beat Steve Miller. But this may be the most ridiculous thing, the most ridiculous political thing by a politician yesterday, by Jayapal. Anyone that's staying out at this point instead of endorsing this incredible, dynamic leader is missing an opportunity. That's a quote.
Okay.
Representative Robert Garcia of California even referred to Mamdani as our Democratic nominee for mayor. Mamdani got an energetic and welcoming reception in D.C. this morning. He wrote, "Huge thanks to AOC for organizing the breakfast. Proud of our Democratic nominee for New York City. Mayor, let's win."
Mm-hmm.
They're nuts.
And he just might win.
Yeah. He could, yeah.
Oh, it's going to get fun. It's going to get fun watching all this.
Notably absent were key congressional Democrats,
Oh.
Hakeem Jeffries, and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer.
Oh.
Neither Jeffries nor Schumer has publicly endorsed Mamdani yet.
Well. And Schumer's from New York.
I know.
So
I just love this one.
that's going to get awkward.
Mamdani, who just last month said billionaires should not exist. Do you have to go any further than that? God, these people are just nuts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but we've heard this before. You know, you and I have been covering this. You know, it's Elizabeth Warren, Bernie, who used to go after millionaires and billionaires, but now that he's a millionaire, oh, don't get ridiculous. Just the billionaires, please. But, you know, there's the thing with all of them. All right, hold on a second. If there shouldn't be billionaires, there shouldn't be millionaires.
No, I think Bernie might not be able to solve that problem in New York City, but Mamdani might be able to. Just have the state own everything.
Well,
and you can.
The billionaires will leave. There won't be any billionaires in New York, so he'll get his way.
That's true. But if you can go back to the model of the Soviet Union, the only people that had any money were part of the one-party system in power.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Nobody else had any money. Everything was owned by the state. Mm-hmm. So if everything is owned by the state, you don't have to worry about millionaires, billionaires, 100,000-aires.
Right.
Because you simply get the minimum sustenance to exist and the opportunity to stand in blocks long bread lines.
Yeah.
At the New York City supermarkets.
Right. Right.
I'll tell you, though, Mamdani could solve the problem if elected of the congestion tax. Nobody would want to come in.
Yeah, there would be no congestion.
Right.
And he would also eliminate billionaires because they'd leave.
He could solve the congestion problem like that in New York City.
Oh, yeah.
See, you and I aren't looking at the positive of a commie in power in New York.
Yeah, it's what we do.
Well, we try to help out.
We're just trying to help.
Sometimes they don't know how to market correctly.
We're the station that cares.
Yeah.
None of the other stations care.
Yeah. So let's take a break, come back, and then I'm heading home. Got to put some Steve Miller on the.
I wouldn't do that.
The 8-track.
No. I wouldn't do that. It's going to be hot today.
Oh, that's right.
You can't play Steve Miller if there's any weather.
I'll be working outside.
Sunshine means heat.
It's going to be in the upper 90s. I got to do lawn work today.
We're trying to defend the Steve Miller Band. If there's rain, if there's sunshine, there's too much heat. If there's rain, if there's any kind of weather, you can't listen to Steve Miller Band. You're killing the planet.
Insane.
How dare you?
866-90 Red Eye.
Coming up, more with Gary McNamara and Eric Harley. It's Red Eye Radio.
Intraday Radio, he's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Welcome. Good morning. Thanks for being here. I thought this was an interesting story here, just a couple of seconds. The CEO for an advocacy group said his organization turned down an offer that he said would have been worth $20 million to help recruit for a national rally against President Trump. Interests aligned with the organizers of the July 17th movement have approached us. In fact, we rejected an offer that probably was worth $20 million.
Wow. That's interesting.
Didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.